Hello everybody, my name is Ilya.
And I'm Tyler. Together we make up Kovray, a couple who loves to play board games. Welcome to a new episode of Check It Out, where we introduce various board games to you.
On this week's Check It Out, we have Canvas.
Canvas, painting, check it out while you're painting.
Canvas is a 1 to 5 player card crafting game in which you're trying to paint 3 different paintings. It is designed by Jeffrey Chin and Andrew Nerger, and illustrated by Luan Huynh. It is published by Road to Infamy Games. Now, as you can see, the box actually doesn't have...
Where's the name? It doesn't have a name because it can be hung up exactly like a painting.
a canvas.
And the name is right here, so you actually just pull the box out. A very, very, very aesthetically appealing box.
Really cool design. Now let's give you a quick overview of how to play.
You'll begin by setting up. Each player will get 3 background cards and 4 inspiration tokens. Then in the center of the table, you'll lay out the player mat. You'll place 4 scoring cards onto the goal zones, and then you'll lay out the transparency cards from left to right with the pile at the end of it.
So the game is quite simple. On your turn, you can either acquire a card or paint a painting by using 3 of the transparent cards. Now, how you acquire a card is if you want the one on the very left, you can just grab it. But if you want one to the right of the left card, you pay your inspiration tokens and place it on each card before that card that you want. Now, if players later pick up the cards with the inspiration tokens on them, they just get those tokens, so that's how they cycle throughout the game. So once you have 3, you're able to stack them on top of each other, making sure to leave the symbols you want uncovered, put them into your background card, painting a painting. You show it to everybody else, and then you score the ribbons associated with the varying scoring cards. So the game continues until every player has painted 3 paintings. At that point, you look at the ribbons that you have, you calculate your score with the scoring cards, and the player with the most points wins. Will you be the most illustrious painter in the world?
Painting.
So what did you think?
I really like this game. It's quick, it's easy, it's fun, and it's relatively easy to learn. I love the paintings as well.
The best part for me is that the paintings have names.
Yes.
So after you're finished the painting, you can actually look at the name, and it's really funny, sometimes mysterious, sometimes like it really is art because it creates lots of different feelings.
Yeah, and like even to that point, like you can only paint with 3 cards, so you do get the option to name it between those 3 words that come up, but it's stressful to put those colors together. You have to stack them properly. You are only allowed to have 5 cards max in your hand at a time, so once you hit that point, you're forced to paint, and you might not always have a good scoring opportunity, or at least the most ideal scoring opportunity.
And the best part is that you don't need all this board game storage. You can just put it on a wall. So why should you check it out?
Well, I think it's a beautiful game that really captures what it is to make a piece of art. You're taking different elements and stacking them on top of each other to create this random, beautiful piece. So if you're creative in that sense and you really like putting those things together, definitely a game for you.
And it's also surprising how creative you can be, because although you don't have a lot of variability of the cards that you have, putting those 3 cards together and having that whole process come together to make a piece of art is really exciting, because at first you're like, how are all these going to go together? What do these symbols have in common? And then all of a sudden it just becomes this beautiful elephant with a hot air balloon in the background with a little spider.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing too is when you're playing this game, you really do have to plan ahead. So you have to kind of optimize your turns by selecting which one you want. And then at the same time, because you're only given 4 inspiration tokens, it adds even more elements of trying to plan ahead because you run out. And there's no way to get them back. which I think is a really cool concept.
It's also a game that you can introduce to people as a gateway game to board games. It's certainly going to wow individuals just because of the nature of the transparent cards and the components and everything in it. It's a really beautiful game that will definitely leave a memorable experience.
It's definitely a twist on like card building, so would recommend checking it out. But why shouldn't you check it out?
It's a very light game. If you want something heavier, this maybe not be the game for you. So the other thing is that because you have only a certain amount of inspiration tokens, and sometimes you really do run out of them and can't get more because everyone else grabs them, your pool of cards that you can select from becomes really narrow. And because of that, it's hard to meet some of the scoring conditions, which sometimes can be frustrating for players.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games where you really have to hone in on a few of the goals and not necessarily try to get all 4.
But I like to do them all!
Well, you can't.
So overall, it's a game that we will definitely be hanging up on our wall.
It's really beautiful, it's really fun, it's simple. I'm excited to teach it to other people, and honestly, any game that can help us get more people into the hobby, we're a big fan of.
I feel like this is like a spy movie game where you invite people over and they see no board games in sight, and all of a sudden, how about we play a game? And you reach for the wall and you just bring it up, and then they're just like, and then they have such a good experience that you're just tossing them into Lisboa.
Yeah, you've got them hooked.
So now, speaking of painting, our question for the day is, what is your favorite color?
Yeah, mine is red. Red, 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 red. It used to be blue, but it's red now.
I like a nice cobalt blue.
Yay!
So tell us yours in the comments below.
Well, that's it for the canvas. Check it out. Thank you so much for dropping by and watching. We hope that you enjoyed.
If you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and click that little bell notification to be notified when new videos of ours come out. And if it's a game that interests you, definitely check it out. It's something that we really enjoy.
Yeah. Until next time, we will see you later. This is us checking out. Bye-bye.
Canvas.
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 What you gonna do with the canvas?